The Breakfast Club, every Saturday from 9 to 10 a.m.
Imagination, just an illusion on E88.3. Well, look at the time. It is 9:04, and it is time to start another great conversation on the Breakfast Club with Jay all the way till 10 a.m. And today is a special day indeed. I'll be having a chat with none other than a gentleman that represented Sri Lanka in the Sri Lanka Legends cricket team. That is Mr. FARVEEZ MAHAROOF, who is actually the director of Prestige Ventures Lanka Private Limited, and also FAZRA IRFAN, who is the director and center manager of Footsteps Preschool. FARVEEZ was supposed to join us with FAZRA in the studio, but sadly he got some work that last minute work that he need to look into, and therefore he's joining us right now though on the phone, while FAZRA is in the studio with me. FAZRA, good morning. Great to have you on the show. Oh, sorry. There you go. I forgot to turn on your mic. Good morning, FAZRA.
Good morning, Jay.
Great to have you on the show. But in the meantime, let's speak to the gentleman himself who is on air with us right now. Hello, FARVEEZ. Good morning.
Very good morning, Jeremy. It's a nice introduction, as always.
So superb to have you with us, and I wish you were in the studio, but I know you have some work that needs to be looked into. But FARVEEZ, thank you so much for taking a little bit of time to speak to us as well. While FAZRA is here with me. So you guys are part of something very, very interesting. Prestige Ventures Lanka Private Limited, who is the mother company of Footsteps Preschool. So FARVEEZ, the first thing I'm going to ask you is preschool. This is related to education. This is related to kids, creativity and imagination, the early years. So the first question I'm going to put forward is to FARVEEZ, because I'm sure the listeners who are listening in, FARVEEZ MAHAROOF in the education side, what's going on? Isn't he a legend in the cricketing field? What's going on here? So FARVEEZ, how did you get into this educational sphere of things?
Interestingly, Jeremy, I've always wanted to do something for the kids. I mean, the people who knows me closely knows that how passionate about kids growing up, giving them the right education. So we will always cherish anything possible to be done for the kids. And when FAZRA and our other FAZRAs, we have another partner called Muzni and his wife Razana, approach us in a collaboration to come up with a venture like sort of Footsteps, and Prestige Ventures is our company. And under the Footsteps is the under Prestige Ventures, the Footsteps preschool we started. My wife being a teacher too, and we didn't think twice, so I knew it was a great combination to have, especially as I said, want to do something for the younger generation, and what better way to do it rather than doing something else, rather than giving the time that they really need the early education. And also FAZRA and Razana, both of them are very experienced teachers, been teaching for the last 15 years in Sri Lanka as well as abroad. And as my wife also a qualified teacher, I thought this is the right moment to get into it.
Well, I think that's great, and I think another important question is, of course, you are known throughout the country for being a legendary cricketer who have represented Sri Lanka, and recently you guys went towards the the finals, and almost won it for us, but it was so nice to see Sri Lanka in a final after so long, and it's all thanks to Dilshan, of course, FARVEEZ MAHAROOF, and the rest of the great teammates that were there. How is preschool, the early years of a child's life, compared to doing something like cricket, and how is, I'm sure there's a difference, the early years are very important. How would you compare the two, FARVEEZ?
I mean, it's hard to compare, Jeremy, but all I can say is the experienced teachers what they've got, and the concept, but the teachers who work as well as the directors, the 2-3 ladies who is the pioneers of our company. The way we do is different to now other preschools which is happening in Sri Lanka.
Yeah.
So I knew when it comes to early education, because I'm being a father of 2 kids, it's very important to give the early education proper ones when they grow up. And what better way to do than opening up ourselves and educating kids when they are younger and get them right. So we have a unique way, which I'm sure FAZRA will explain it to you even more, of educating the kids. And also, we started in 2019 September. By now, we have a huge number of kids coming to our school, as well as a lot of kids that join all over the world on online classes. So we have made great growth, and we have made a name in the market for doing things differently. So everything will be explained by FAZRA. She runs the day-to-day activities in our company.
Yeah.
So I reckon it's very hard to compare, but all in all, it's the basic that you need to get right. I mean, cricket, if you don't have the basic right, you won't make it big.
Exactly.
So education, kids education. If you don't get the education right when they're younger, in early education, I think kids upbringing will be a little problem.
Absolutely. Well put, Farveez, and thank you so much for explaining that. But now we'll slowly move on to FAZRA, who is the Director and Center Manager. Yes, Director and Center Manager of Footsteps Preschool. So FAZRA, I'd like to ask you, could you give us a little bit of a brief about the Footsteps Preschool for our listeners who are listening in?
Yes. Footsteps Preschool was founded in September 2019, and Razana and I, we were teaching in UAE. We were teaching for GEMS education, and we used to always discuss how can we come back whenever we come back to Sri Lanka. What are we going to do? Like, how can we give this expertise to
the local kids.
The local kids, yeah. So we had a vision of a preschool, a different vision of a preschool that emphasis on each individual child. We wanted to do something different, and we had a extensive experience and training programs that we got from GEMS. So we thought there's no point keeping it for ourselves. It's better to come back and give it to the community of our children.
Yeah, and the thing is, very importantly, you said that it's a different style. FARVEEZ also highlighted it. It's a different style that you guys approach when it comes to these youngsters, because we're talking about kids who are like 1.5 years old up until 5 years.
5 years, yeah.
5 years away. These are the tender years. These are they make good impressions, and all of that. So, and then the Sri Lankan education system, I think it's the case in many places, is like the parrot method, study.
Structured.
Study, the imagination and the creative juices that a kid has growing up sometimes goes for a 6, if you put a cricketing term there, because of the fact that we are following the parrot method. But you guys have this approach of bringing that creativity and imagination out of a child, right?
Yes. When you say early education, the term early education refers to a period of time when the child is born up to the age of kindergarten. So this is a very crucial time for the child. Their brains develop very rapidly. So nowadays they say that while the mom is pregnant itself, the children can hear them when they are inside. So it's when they're out, it's the same thing. So it is very important that you stimulate their brains. So what we offer at Footsteps Preschool is that we give them a lot of stimulation, we give them a lot of activity, we give them a lot of imagination to come out with their own creativity. So no activities are the same. So for example, you will see 6 children doing the same activity in 6 different ways. That's how you get the creativity out. So it's not like where you just you spoon feed the child and say this is how you do it. No, you just get them to use their imagination and do things. And then also our activities are age appropriate. So 1.5 years to 5 years. So we have parents who ask us, 1.5, what do you do with a 1.5-year-old? Yeah, but then we do.
They're kind of attached to their parents and they don't want to leave their parents and they cry a lot and all of that.
Exactly, yeah. But that's all a part and parcel of the whole thing. So so our activities are all age appropriate. Our teachers are trained. So we give them that stimulation that they need in that age for their development, physically and mentally.
Oh wow, that's actually quite brilliant. So we're just having a chat with FARVEEZ, MAHAROOF, and of course FAZRA IRFAN. FARVEEZ is the director of Prestige Ventures Lanka Private Limited. FAZRA is director and center manager of Footsteps Preschool. So we're going to continue. We're going to take a small break and continue our chat with these two lovely individuals in just a bit. And FARVEEZ, there's a message from Harry, who's one of our listeners, who says, "Good morning, Jay. Please say hi to FARVEEZ MAHAROOF. He's a gem of a man. Wish him good luck, please," he says. And
Thanks. Thank you.
and we have Shay Hamid, who says, "Good morning, Jay. Good morning to you too, Shay." We're going to continue our chat with these lovely people, but before that, let's take a quick break. Time is 9:40. Please stay on E88.3. What a song! Good morning, and this is the Breakfast Club with Jay, all the way till 10 a.m. And this is EFM's Mega Weekends as well. We got Jerome, who says, "Good morning. Good morning to you too, Jerome." I've got Ruvani, who says, "Hi Jay, please say hi to Maha from me." So yes, we are having a chat with FARVEEZ MAHAROOF over the phone, and also we have FAZRA IRFAN, who is also in the studio. Very interesting chat. So FARVEEZ, I'd like to ask you a bit of a personal question, because now Ruvani is saying, "Please say hi to Maha from me." Now, when it comes to our cricketers, of course, the fans and the teammates have different nicknames, no? Like, Sangakara is Sanga, Mahela is Maya, and then Dilshan, I think everybody calls him Dila or something. What's your nickname by the fans, or maybe by your teammates, FARVEEZ? What do they call you?
I got a few, Jeremy, to be honest. Maha is quite common.
Yeah.
And then my school friends, my college friends mostly call me Farah.
Uh-huh.
And I got another nickname while playing in New Zealand in 2004 called Roof.
Roof,
So
okay.
To Roof. So it has gone wild. Gone around, mostly around the foreign players. Calling as Roof.
So most of the foreign players call you Roof, is it?
Most of the foreign players, and also in New Zealand, they started a song. I don't know whether you know this song called Fire, Water, Burn.
No.
And it
actually.
goes, the roof
yeah,
is
yeah.
on fire. So
Yeah.
if they go Maroof is on fire.
Nice
So
one.
these are the memories that you will always carry through.
Yeah,
people
absolutely.
singing your name, especially not in Sri Lanka, especially in New Zealand, Australia.
Yeah.
South Africa, these places.
Well,
Not New Zealand, Australia. This is what you get.
That is absolutely amazing, and thank you so much for sharing some of those memories. Brilliant stuff. I more than sometimes I feel like, let me have a chat with Maharoof and talk to him about the cricketing scenario and all of that. But okay, now we're gonna get back to business, and I will ask maybe another question regarding cricket later, because this is what happens when I speak to when I'm a fan. This is what happens. So anyway.
It's not the first time, Jeremy.
Yeah, exactly. So, okay, so FAZRA, we'll talk about Prestige Preschool. Footsteps, sorry. I kind of mixed the two up there. So, Footsteps Preschool, we'll talk about how important the early years are. We were talking about the importance of early years for a child from age 1.5 years to 5 years, and then so on and so forth. But at Footsteps, you're looking at the age group of 1.5 years to 5 years. So, why is the early years so important for a child?
I should say it's the most important. It's like laying a foundation. When you build a house, you lay a foundation. So
Yeah.
this is the foundation that you built on a child. So and there is a misconception that it's not important, especially here in Sri Lanka. Parents mostly think that they send them to preschool just to learn the basic skills, but it's much
Maybe
more
read,
than
count,
that.
something.
Exactly, it's more on the academic side that they want to, but it's a very important time in children's lives, because it is when they first learn how to interact with others. I'm talking about children of their age, same age group, including peers and adults. And it's the first time they move around with other adults. So I'm talking about the teachers in the school. So
And they learn the importance of maybe sharing,
taking
talking.
turns, talking, especially communication.
Yeah.
Even if you go to a doctor, say any parent has a delay, like a speech delayed child, and they take them to a doctor, the first diagnosis itself is put them to a preschool.
Yeah.
So that's what a preschool does. It caters to a lot of developmental milestones.
Yeah.
So
Oh, that's brilliant.
And
Okay.
it has to be, and it when it's done successfully, it lays the groundwork for it to continue throughout their educational life. So the preschool years are very important. So they learn to cooperate, they learn to talk to each other, they learn rules and regulations, because you have set boundaries that we put in.
I think that's actually very important indeed. And let's talk about, yes, they are learning a few things like that, but also I think Footsteps also has a curriculum. So let's talk a little bit about the curriculum aspect as well. Is there a specific curriculum you guys follow?
We follow the national curriculum of UK, which is the EYFS on the kindergarten level. EYFS stands for Earliest Foundation Stage. So it's a set curriculum, and that's what is used throughout the schools in UK, and it's revised every once in 4 years. So that's where I want to highlight education is something is always changing. So the EYFS curriculum is something like that. They evolve around the child's uniqueness. So even recently, after the COVID, they had revised it. So they made a little bit of changes, whereas they had asked the educational bodies to emphasize more on language, because these are things that they missed during that 1 year. So that's the beauty of the EYFS. And then there are 7 areas of learning in the EYFS curriculum. So we cover all the areas that are important for a child's development. So we cover the physical area, we cover the communication, the mathematics, the language, the understanding of the world, the social emotional development, because social skills are something that children lack these days. So our curriculum is all integrated. So when we plan activities, we make sure all of these aspects are in that activity. So that's how it makes the curriculum more unique.
Wow, that's actually quite brilliant indeed. Now we'll move on to Farveez and ask him a question. Now, I think the word creche comes into play, Farveez, a little bit when it comes to Footsteps Preschool. And off air, I was having a chat with FAZRA regarding a creche, and it's actually quite interesting. But to our listeners, could you maybe this question is out to the both of you. Could you maybe tell us a little bit about what is a creche so that our listeners know what it is? Farveez?
Yeah, creches mostly, we offer the service to the corporate firms.
Okay.
It's one step closer in creating an environment for the existing working mothers and future mothers as well. I mean, usually how it happens is we provide our staff, and at the corporate, their premises itself, and we will look after the kids from office hours, which is normally 8:30 to 5:30. So even that the teachers and the nannies who we hire is been specially trained by FAZRA and Razana and my wife Fatna. So we take it very seriously when we hire our staff as well. So these are types. I mean, I'm sure FAZRA will elaborate even more when it comes to questions. I mean, I'm just telling you the basics. That's what we offer for the corporates, and we have signed up with you as well as a few. We still are on discussion in getting into the creches as well. So it's something that Sri Lanka is lacking at the moment. And I know for a fact some companies do, but most of the companies aren't sure about how it happens. So it is something that we've started abroad, and we've seen it how it happens, so we have taken on board as well.
And FAZRA, now Farveez explained a little bit about the creches. The creche is related to the corporate world and all that, so the moms can follow their career, but at the same time, there's somebody to look after their kid. Could you?
And it's more on giving new moms the emotional support, especially after childbirth. They are in between going to work and taking care of home and while living abroad. This is one of the challenges I had, having kids and having to go to work, but then the workplace had the creche, so that's it. I gave my 100% to the workplace because I knew my child was there. So
it's a very unique concept here. It's a new concept here, and I don't know whether
not everyone is doing it. Because I don't think they know the gravity of it yet.
So basically, just to let our listeners know, a creche is where, let's say, that you are a working mom and then you're like, okay, now I'll probably have to leave my career because I have to balance the home front. But when it comes to a creche is where you can continue your job and follow your career and continue your career in your office space or in a specific area will be provided where footsteps will come and maybe take care of the children.
Exactly, yeah.
So that you can give your full attention to work and then your child is taken care
Yeah, the
of.
employee turnover and all is very less if you see, and we have a lot of female talent nowadays, so might as well they continue with their career in the same way they can balance looking after their children as well.
Well, how can, let's say there's a corporate who are listening in, maybe moms listening in, how can they get Footsteps involved in something like this?
Yeah, they just have to get in touch with us. So we're on social media as Footsteps Preschool Dehiwala.
Okay.
So they can get in touch with us and
have a chat.
And then we can
plan it out.
Go
All
ahead
right,
with
brilliant. So we're going to continue our chat with FAZRA and FARVEEZ, but in the meantime, let's take a quick break. Time is 9:30. Good morning. 17th of April. It's a Saturday, and we're having a conversation with FARVEEZ MAHAROOF and FAZRA IRFAN. FARVEEZ is joining us over the telephone, and now FAZRA gave me the green light. She said, you can ask. If you have cricketing questions, you can ask FARVEEZ. It's okay. So I'm like really excited. When somebody gives me the green light like that, I'll have to jump on that and probably ask him questions regarding it. So FARVEEZ, sorry to trouble you, but I have another cricketing question. So FARVEEZ, I think this is something that all fans saw at the World Safety Series, that our cricketers that represent Sri Lanka, who have retired from the game, performing really well than the current players. No disrespect to the current players. I hope they'll find their mojo and bring back glory like the old days. But I'd like to ask you what was going through your mind during the series, and what was some of the I think this relates to kids as well who are listening in, the importance of determination and hard work and blood, sweat and tears. What was your mindset, and what was something you were going through to build yourself for this series, the training and everything?
I think we went through a lot of things, Jeremy, from the really honest. I mean, when we left for the first edition, which happened 2020 March, just before the lockdown, we played a couple of matches. That's how it started. And we beat Australia with Australia. Then the country went just before country went on lockdown. We came back, and the continuation happened this time. So when we went first time, the interest was not that much. People watched it, but it wasn't that the wow factor. But this time when we left, it was the same. There was a lot of interest, but when we really got hyped up, especially in social media, and the friends, all the friends used to call us even after a game. And when you play the West Indies, the first match, we were not sure because we were playing after so long. We didn't train. We just, all of a sudden, from being quarantined and all this stuff, and busy from our own life, all the individuals, we straight into the game. A couple of days practices in India, and then we played the West Indies game and we won. And that's where we got the belief that we could go all the way. And slowly but surely, the interest and the love and everything was, shown massively from Sri Lanka. And more we started winning, we felt, right, this is getting serious day by day. And by the time we came to semi-final, it was a massive event. I mean, entire country was watching. That's what we were told. And the sacrifice, if I can, I'll tell you this, Jeremy. Before the finals, we had 7 of our guys were injured, including myself. But we somehow managed to play through it because number one, our dedication, and we had that pride that we need to get out of the field because firstly on a personal front, for me to play some of the legends along with some of the legends as well as some of the big names from the other countries. I mean, I will probably never get an opportunity like that. So I need to pull my socks up and take care of the injury and just play. And also huge a lot of credit should go to our physio, a guy called Mihir, who's an Indian who worked tirelessly day and night. He didn't let any of the players to really go down on mentally, because when you get injured mentally, you're down because you know that you're injured and all this stuff. So he worked tirelessly. So, it's all sacrifice what we made, and we are happy that what we have finished. I mean, we would have loved to finish off on a championship note, but unfortunately couldn't do it. But all I can say is we gave our probably 110% what we could with our ages.
Absolutely.
And, with being retired, it's never easy going back. And we just loved, representing our country, the flag. We used to do that with a lot of pride. We did that with a lot of pride.
Yeah.
And, the entire country, we are still getting asking the same question what we just asked. How did you do it? And this is how we did it, Jerry.
Yeah. Well, I think it's brilliant stuff, and it was so glad to see all those amazing players, including you, taking us to the final. And would we see FARVEEZ, MAHAROOF and the rest of the teammates in the next edition of the World Safety Series?
It's in the air, to be honest. I mean, we don't know the dates yet. We've been told it's end of October and November, but it all depends on how free from our jobs as well. I mean, most of the guys are employed, and we need to get the time off as well. So, and some of the guys are into coaching. So, this all depends. But I'm sure that the guys, the 15 players who were in part of the series this year will put their 100% to try and be fit for that, as well as free for that, as well as some of the other players who missed out this time, guys like Basi, Kalu and Kapugedar, all these guys will be playing as well. So we've got a decent squad to pick from. Yeah. So if I get a chance, definitely I will look forward to it, and I'll be more prepared at least a month before. I will start training, because I know for a fact how I struggled right throughout. But more I played, I got better. So I reckon this time it's a lesson for us to prepare ourselves physically.
Oh wow! Thank you so much, FARVEEZ, for that. And now let's move to ask FAZRA a question. Picking a preschool for young parents is, I think, similar to picking a very powerful, good team that will represent your country, because they're going to perform and they're going to do well. All right. So when it comes to picking a preschool, you can't just pick whatever is around the corner, right, FAZRA? So how important is it for young parents? Okay, I'm on the lookout for a preschool. What should they look for? Sorry. Here we go.
Well, it is vital that parents and teachers work collaboratively. So the first thing is building trust. Parents have to build the trust with the school. So this means you look at the positive aspects of the school. There's a lot of negativity that goes around when choosing a preschool. So you first have to make up your mind as parents. Okay, I'm going to see the positive side of the school, and then work collaboratively with the teachers for the betterment of the child.
Right.
And I would say parents have to take a brief tour. You can learn a lot about the quality of a preschool from a brief tour. And you will see children are active. They are not expected to sit and work in one place. Children are freely moving around. These are things that you'll sense as parents, whether the preschool is actually a happy place. And reference, I would say, it's very important that parents get reference, research, social media. So these are things that we can get a lot of positive income. And play, I'll emphasize on play. Children need time to play. So when I say play, this is a lot of space, outdoor space for children.
Right.
Because research show that children need at least 60 to 90 minutes of play per day.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. So that's very less that children get.
That helps their cognitive functions,
their brain development, all that. So having a large play space is very important. Something that, because children learn through play. There's a lot happening, and then making sure that the play equipment are meaningful. So they get a lot of physical development.
Yeah.
And staff, you always look at the staff, whether they are supported and happy, because teaching is a very tough job. You're talking about 12 to 15 children in one classroom where their needs are different. Not every child is the same. So you don't get one will be good in say physical activity, whereas another one is good in cognitive activities, like how you say. So catering to all of those children at the same time is quite a tough job.
Yeah.
So managements have to be giving them constant training, so they are up on the game, and then plus they know what they're doing. The teachers are trained. Not that, because you see teachers sitting in one place for 30, 40 years without any training. I mean, it's education, like I said, is always changing, especially with the early years.
Yeah. And also here's a question for FARVEEZ, and I'm going to ask the same question from FAZRA as well. When it comes to Footsteps Preschool and all that, FARVEEZ, how important, like when it comes to cricket, having a solid team is very important, but when it comes to Footsteps Preschool, of course, I think having a solid team is also important. How valuable or important is the team when it comes to Footsteps Preschool, FARVEEZ?
I mean, team is very important. Where we go, it has to be a teamwork, and we've been blessed to have 6 people running the show, and basically three ladies run the most of the education, the 3 guys behind the scene.
Yeah.
We run the what do you call it, the accounts as well as the marketing stuff, and basically providing everything the ladies need to educate the kids. And within the 2 years that we started, we have made huge strides, and we got people who are our competitors following us and copying us, to be really honest. So that itself shows within 2 years how far we have come. And as I said, teamwork is all about dedication, hard work, communicating. I mean, we have been, as I said, we've been blessed to have this team, and hopefully in time to come we will serve even better and bigger, and we will branch out even more, and give back to the community.
Yeah, and you highlighted some important points, but to young parents who are listening in, FARVEEZ, who probably have young kids between the ages of 1.5 years to 5 years, if they're looking for a preschool, why should they consider Footsteps Preschool? What makes it different?
I mean, as I explained, we do things in a unique way, which we cater the 2021, the new generation.
Yeah.
And also our flagship nursery in Jaywal has a huge garden space, and that's quite unique as well when it comes to other places which in the same business.
Yeah.
So I reckon that's where the uniqueness comes, and that's what the parents love to put their kids in our preschool as well, because there's a huge space, as well as we got hands-on staff, as well as the nannies who work tirelessly. So all this combines really well, and so far, as I said, the numbers have been huge, and the interest has been huge. So we will hopefully continue the same way with the standards we have raised.
Yeah, and here's an interesting question. FARVEEZ, how many parents come towards Footsteps Preschool hoping that they'll get a chance to meet you?
I'll let FAZRA answer that, because most of the time I go there, but I don't go during school hours, because I stay away from that.
Yeah.
So I'll let FAZRA answer that.
How many parents come to see him?
We have a lot of
FARVEEZ here?
we have a lot of parents who actually walk in, and the first thing they would ask is, so this is FARVEEZ's preschool? So it's very heavy. It's a huge impact.
Yeah.
Having him as a national player, and he's contributed so much to the country.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so there is the trust. They've already built that trust that this place has something to offer.
Yeah,
Something
because he's not
different.
going to get involved in a project if it's not great.
If it's not great, exactly. And then we're talking about little children, and then we're talking about education here.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So there shouldn't be any competition. Every place should make sure that they give the best to the child. Because at the end of the day, they are the ones who are our next generation. I mean, we are molding them.
Absolutely, yeah, for sure. It is 9:46. My goodness, time is flying by. We're going to take a quick break and continue our chat with FARVEEZ and FAZRA right here on E88.3. Good morning to you. This is the Breakfast Club with Jay on EFM's Mega Weekends. Got Shazia on the show saying, Jeremy, say hi to my cousins. Oh, well, FAZRA, Shazia is your cousin, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And she's listening in. We're glad to hear from you.
Hi, Shazi.
Great to hear from you, Shazia. Okay, so in conversation with FARVEEZ, MAHAROOF and FAZRA IRFAN on the show. Before we move on to another question with FARVEEZ, because it's the final few minutes of the show, let's talk about the importance of your team when it comes to Footsteps Preschool, FAZRA, because I think you really wanted to highlight the importance of your great team.
Yeah, we call this the A team. We are 3 couples.
Okay.
So myself, my husband, FARVEEZ and his wife, and then my colleague Razana and her husband. So we have our own expertise. Everyone has an expertise that helps us in this business.
Yeah.
So Razana and I look at the teaching and learning part of the school. So we are more into the curriculum and making sure that everything is in place, and staffing and all of those things. And my husband Irfan, he's into the marketing segment, so he does all the marketing side. Musli, that's Razana's husband, he takes care of the finance, so that part is taken care of, so we don't have to worry. And obviously FARVEEZ is our brand ambassador, and Hasna takes care of, she's also teaching in the preschool, and plus she takes care of the events. So we are 6 pillars, so we all have our own expertise that helps.
Yeah, everybody brings something different to the table.
Different to the table. And moving on, we have a dynamic team, like a teaching team, a young team. The lineup is quite young. We believe that the youngsters can bring a lot of new things to the table, and always ready, always positive, and ready to take challenges. So that's a good thing.
Yes, that is a good thing. And speaking about youngsters, who are joining the teaching force, and you're part of your team as well. What message do you have to young educators who are planning to join the education side of things?
Yeah, teaching is a noble job. You don't expect anything back in big. I mean, I'm sure you remember your first teacher, do you?
I think so. Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Yeah, so they make a lasting impact on a child's life. It can be negative. Even a negative impact is, yeah. So what I would say to the youngsters is, you take this as a very noble job, because you're molding a child's life. They become somebody one day because of what you taught them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and always upgrade yourself. So it doesn't stop. Education doesn't stop. It's not like you do something related to childcare and then you say, okay, I'm done and I know what to teach. No, you don't do this. You upgrade. You constantly upgrade yourself.
Because kids also evolve with time.
And your childhood is different from what childhood is. Yeah.
We grew up in a time where there was no social media, no mobile phones. Now a kid who's 1.5 years or 2 years knows how to operate a mobile phone and watch videos, etc. So
and then you are catering as a second mom. So they leave their mom and come to us. We are their second mom.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that's a huge thing.
That is definitely a huge thing. So I think what you guys are doing is truly, truly noble. And in the final few minutes, let's ask FARVEEZ this question. FARVEEZ, what is your message to our lovely listeners who are listening in? Of course, they're fans of you as well. But at the same time, what message do you have to our lovely listeners when it comes to your role in Footsteps Preschool as the brand ambassador? And on top of that, and basically your message to our lovely listeners, FARVEEZ.
I mean, the message is simple. As FAZRA mentioned, it's a noble thing what we are doing, as well as we are trying to introduce something unique to the system, and there's no better way to take it forward with the ladies who taught in a prestigious school in UAE as well. So those experience has been definitely helpful to the other staff that we have at Footsteps. So the message is quite clear. My team. I'm part of the team as well. My role is different, but the people, including FAZRA, Hasna, and Razana, and the others, they have a very big responsibility in when it comes to early education for the kids. As I said, the basic is very important. So we take it as a pride, we take it as a challenge, and we so far in the 2 years what we had, as I said, we made giant strides. So we want to continue the same way and produce a lot of good young children, going to their grade ones into their schools with already, covering most of the syllabus and stuff.
Oh wow, that is absolutely awesome. So FARVEEZ, thank you so much for taking a little bit of time from your busy schedule to have a chat with us. It's an absolute pleasure. Now I can go and brag to my friends that I had a chat with FARVEEZ MAHAROOF on the show. And sadly I am unable to take a picture. But FARVEEZ, if I meet you somewhere, I'm going to shout and say, "This is Jeremy FARVEEZ. Can I take a picture with you?" I'm going to do that, okay?
I mean, I'll be honored to that. Jeremy, and thanks for having me. I mean, it was wonderful. And, I'm not that busy, but just on quarantine. So basically, I just didn't find out how I'm going to kill time. So got 3 more days of it. So whenever you're free, you just phone call away, mate.
Oh wow! Thank you. What an honor. Thank you so much, FARVEEZ. And can you also, in a nutshell, can you quickly tell us what's going on in your life right now and what you're getting ready for?
I'll be on commentary for the Bangladesh series. So the protocol is we need to stay few days of quarantine. So I came to Kandy yesterday.
Okay.
And I'll be in quarantine up to the 20th, and the 24th the test match starts. So I'll be joining the commentary box, which includes Russell and the co.
Oh wow, that's awesome. So is this your first commentary experience?
I've done it before. 2019, I did Bangladesh series, the one day, when Lafil Mali played his last series. That was my debut, international. And before that, 2017, I did the Asia Cup Women's Final in Malaysia. So did my third stint. So, I've been called up as a replacement. And I just got the call of the 14. Had to pack up, got 2 PCR tests done on the 14th and 15th. I just did one more this morning. So it's something that with the normal life, the PCR, so getting used to all this stuff.
All right, brilliant. Once again, FARVEEZ, thank you so much. All the best to you with everything you do when it comes to footsteps, and of course your commentary career and cricketing career as well. Thank you so much for your lovely service and love towards the country and everything you've done for our team and for our country as well. Thank you so much, FARVEEZ.
Thank you.
Absolute pleasure and honor speaking to you. So FAZRA, thank you also to you for coming on the show and talking to us about Footsteps Preschool, and all the very best to you and your team.
Thank you, Jerome. Thank you very much.
All the best to you and your team, and hope you guys grow from strength to strength, and thank you for molding our next generation.
Thank you very much.
Youngsters.
Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Absolute pleasure. Thank you so much. Well, we're going to step out of the studio. I had the pleasure of having a chat with FARVEEZ MAHAROOF and FAZRA IRFAN. We have, who is this? We have Hasna, who says, "Hi Jeremy, great show, sending lots of love to the hubby and sister as well." Oh, this is the legendary Hasna, who is the wife of FARVEEZ MAHAROOF. She's also listening in. Brilliant stuff. Thank you so much. Well, we're going to step out of the studio and we're going to get ready for Rick D's. So that's Breakfast Club coming to a close. I'll catch you guys on Monday with Dilsha on The Rush. With that, I'm out of here. Take care. Bye.
The Breakfast Club, every Saturday from 9 to 10 a.m.